David Berkowitz, born in Brooklyn on June 1st, 1953, was a serial killer who terrorized the streets of New York City during the mid-70s. He was known as the 44 caliber killer for using the same 44 special caliber bulldog revolver, but better known as the Son of Sam. He believed the demon lived inside the black Labrador retriever owned by his neighbor named Sam Carr. David claimed he was obeying this demon-manifested dog who was commanding him to kill. The Son of Sam's first murder was on July 29, 1976, claiming his first victim. Over the next year, he would go on to murder 5 more innocent victims and injure several others, from Nassau County through the Bronx, Queens, down to Gravesend Bay, Brooklyn. The city was gripped by fear as the killer taunted the cops and the public with cryptic messages, sending letters to the media and police, escalating the level of public panic to unprecedented heights. It wasn't until August 77, when a parking ticket led them to David's car, that they finally caught a break. They arrested him the following day, and the city breathed a collective sigh of relief. David pleaded guilty to the 6 murders and was sentenced to 6 consecutive life sentences in prison. Dr. Harold Shipman, aka Dr. Death, was born in England in 1946. From a young age, he exhibited an interest in medicine. He pursued a medical career and eventually became a general practitioner. But behind his facade, Shipman was harboring a sinister secret. Over the course of his medical career, he began to exploit his position of power, taking advantage of the vulnerability of his patients. Shipman's method of murder was administering lethal doses of morphine to his victims, often claiming they needed medication for minor ailments. His victims were mostly elderly women, and their deaths were often attributed to natural causes due to their age. Suspicions surrounding Shipman began to grow as an unusually high number of his patients were dying under his care. It was the unexpected death of one patient, Kathleen Grundy, that led to his downfall. Shipman had forged her will in an attempt to inherit her wealth. This prompted a closer look into his activities. In 1998, Dr. Shipman was arrested and charged with 15 counts of murder with an estimated 250 victims, and 1 count of forgery. Shipman maintained his innocence, but overwhelming evidence linked him to the deaths of 15 patients. In January 2000, Shipman was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment. Shipman died by suicide by hanging himself just 4 years later at the age of 57. Angel Maturino Resendiz, aka the Railroad Killer, was born on August 1st, 1959 in Puebla, Mexico. For nearly 2 decades, Angel embarked on a killing spree that spread fear across several states. His sinister MO involved hopping onto freight trains, using them to traverse the country, and selecting his targets at random. The killings were marked in a lack of a discernible pattern, making it difficult for investigators to predict his next move. Angel killed at least 15 people with rocks, a pickaxe, and other blunt objects, mainly in their homes. He'd raped some of his female victims. That was probably a secondary intent, as Angel himself was of small stature. He did not attack larger victims. Desperate to apprehend the railroad killer, a task force enlisted the help of the public, distributing wanted posters and sketches of the suspect. Angel's sister Manuela had seen her brother's FBI most wanted poster and feared that he might kill someone else or be killed by Mexican bounty hunters, so she contacted the police. On July 12, 1999, a Texas Ranger, accompanied by the sister, met up with Angel, where he surrendered in a dramatic standoff on a bridge. Despite claiming that he was guided by alter egos and believing he was eternal, he was found guilty and sentenced to death. In 2006, he was executed by lethal injection.